Controlling a computer with your brain was just science fiction. But now that fiction is becoming a fact. Elon Musk's brain tech company, Neuralink, has officially completed its first human trial, and the results are not just promising, they're mind-blowing. In January 2024, Neuralink implanted its brain-computer interface into a human patient for the very first time. A patient who had been paralyzed from the shoulders down after a diving accident. Just a few months later, in 2025, Neuralink revealed the results, and they're shaking up the world of neuroscience and technology. So, what actually happened during the trial? What do these results tell us? And how close are we to a future where humans and machines work together seamlessly? Let's break it all down. Neuralink was founded by Elon Musk in 2016 with one big goal: to build a high-bandwidth brain-computer interface. In simple terms, it's a chip you implant in the brain that lets your brain communicate directly with computers without needing to move your hands or even speak. It sounds wild, right? But the science behind it is real. The Neuralink device, called the Link, is about the size of a coin and gets implanted into the skull. Tiny threads thinner than a human hair reach into specific areas of the brain and pick up signals from neurons. Then, those signals get decoded by Neuralink's software and turned into commands like moving a mouse cursor, or eventually typing, swiping, even controlling robotic limbs. The man who received the first Neuralink chip was a quadriplegic. He couldn't move his limbs and had lost almost all control over his body, but his brain was still active, still sending out signals, even if his body couldn't respond. That's where Neuralink stepped in. The company's robotic surgical team implanted the chip into the part of his brain responsible for movement. It was a delicate process, involving the placement of 64 ultra-thin threads, each with tiny electrodes that pick up brain activity. The surgery was successful, and just a few weeks later, the patient was already doing something unbelievable. He was moving a computer cursor just by his thinking. This human trial proved that Neuralink's tech is not just theoretical anymore. The chip can be safely implanted, it can detect brain signals, and it can translate those signals into actions in the real world. Even more amazing is that the patient was soon able to play chess, browse the internet, and control a computer using only his thoughts. No keyboard, no voice commands. Just by his brain power. Elon Musk later tweeted on his official Twitter account that the patient had fully recovered with no side effects and was able to use the chip to control a mouse cursor with high accuracy. That's a massive win, not just for Neuralink, but for the entire brain-computer interface industry. Let's pause for a second. This isn't just about cool tech. It's about giving people their independence back. For those with spinal cord injuries, ALS, or other conditions that affect movement, Neuralink could completely change the way they live. Think about it. A person who can't move or speak could still control their phone, their computer, or even a wheelchair. All with their mind, they could write, play games, communicate, work, without needing to physically touch anything. It's not just life-changing, it's really a game-changing technology. As exciting as the results are, there are still challenges ahead. First of all, technology still has a long way to go. Right now, the chip can help control basic functions like a cursor. But for more complex tasks like controlling a robotic limb or typing at full speed, there's still a lot of development needed. Second one is, there are some ethical questions. How much control should we give to tech that connects directly with our brains? Who owns the data your brain produces? Could this tech be hacked? Could it be used to read or influence thoughts? These are the big questions, and the answers aren't clear yet. Neuralink says it's committed to privacy and safety, and their devices are designed to be secure. But with great power comes great responsibility, and the world will be watching closely. Then, what's next for Neuralink? After the success of the first trial, Neuralink is now recruiting more patients. They're focused on people with severe spinal cord injuries or ALS. The goal is to continue testing the chip's safety and performance, and to expand its capabilities. Eventually, Neuralink wants to do even more. They're working toward letting users control phones and computers at high speed, restoring movement in paralyzed limbs by connecting the brain to the spine, helping blind people see by stimulating the visual cortex, and one day enabling full brain-to-brain communication. It sounds futuristic, but if the first trial is any indication, the future's already knocking on the door. Now, let's talk about Elon Musk's long-term vision. For Musk, Neuralink isn't just about helping people with injuries. He's also thinking way bigger. He believes that artificial intelligence will eventually surpass human intelligence. And when that happens, he thinks the only way humans can stay relevant is by merging with AI. In his own words, Neuralink is a way to achieve symbiosis with artificial intelligence. In other words, making humans smarter by upgrading our brains, turning us into something like cyborgs. Sounds crazy, right? Maybe. But with Neuralink's first human trial, we've taken the first real step toward that future. It's easy to look at Neuralink and see only the flashy tech. But underneath all the wires and chips, this is about human connection, about restoring freedom, about unlocking new ways to live, work, and connect. Yes, there are challenges. Yes, there's a risk. But for someone who's trapped in their own body, this tiny chip could be the key to a brand new life. The first human trial is just the beginning. And if Neuralink continues to deliver, it could change everything. Not just for people with disabilities, but for all of us. The brain may be the final frontier in technology. And with Neuralink, we've just taken the first step into a future where mind and machine move as one. So, are you ready to think your way into the future? Drop a comment here, and stay tuned for more updates.